Gotta get old. We were on disc 3A. So let's go ahead and attach our flip list. And you know what? This is Monty on the Run here. This is going to be the last song that plays from this YouTube video, and we'll just let it run to its end before we continue on. But let's make sure we have the right disc loaded. We need side 3A, okay. And we're going to just grab the controller so that I can hit the mic there. Sit back, relax, and do this up the right way. I've got here some delicious tea. This is the container that keeps tea hot forever. I made this tea around, I don't know, 3 o'clock or so. It's now 9 o'clock. And it's still hot. It just takes a while to pour, though. There we go. And now I'll have a steady supply as I see fit to needing it. Okay, so we are going to... Oh, geez. Okay, I want to get down to display status before I hit the button because my controller doesn't really kick on until I press one of the actual buttons. And it would have done something ridiculous. Let's pop out the chat so that I can keep an eye on it over here on my main window. Shrink. I'm not going to shrink it up a bit. Oh, you missed 2 sessions if we're married to The Rock. Unfortunately, both of them are just finished downloading a little while ago, so they're not even up on YouTube yet. But, yeah, 46, wow. We heard Zerfina, aged 46. Oh, and you know what? I forgot to tweet this out real quick before we go out. Tweeter.com. Make a tweet. It's... You guys get to hear me say what I'm typing. It's the twilight of Zerfina's years over on mixer.com/Zerfall. Hey, I didn't link to Beam this time. Oh, well, you're welcome for tweeting out the stream. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on with what this says. So, Zerfina, aged 46, law assistant, married to Rock. And our law assistant job is part-time. And it's been doing well for us. Our calmness is an 84, confidence is 97. We had that maxed out at 99 for a while. Expressiveness 95, familial ties 93, gentleness 66, happiness 81. So far, everything above 50. Our physical has stayed above 50 now. Yeah, part-timer with the secretary. That's absolutely right. We got our own secretary because we're so good at what we do. Our intelligence is 97. Our social is 97. Our thoughtfulness is 88, which is important because we have the Beatus. It doesn't mention it again in the game. You have to remember that on your own. But if we lived a life where our thoughtfulness got below 40, we would forget to take our insulin shots and die. Our trustworthiness is a high 95, which is up from when we were a little kid with a trustworthiness of 35. Our vocational status is 86 now. That's up from 55 at the beginning of the last session. We have $143, $143,864, 0 debt, and a car, or in a house, not a car. We're not living in our vehicular mode of transportation. So let's go ahead and continue the game here. And it may have a switch to disc 3B. This is the last disc in the game. 40,000 roaring orcs. There, maybe I'll be a little bit more on point with my pronunciations now. Ooh, purple is the color of the border for this part of life. Welcome to middle adulthood. After the verb to love, to help is the second most beautiful verb in the world. Baroness Bertha von Schuntner, recipient of the 1905 Nobel Peace Prize. Epigram. Ground Arms. 1892. So here we are We are all ready to go. You can see there's job stuff happening. There's side quests. Oh, man. And a whole lot more health things going on than used to be. We can still go to college for some reason. I guess we are. I mean, you could be getting your triple PhD or something like that. I suppose it's never really too late to go back to school. And we've got all sorts of other stuff going on here. And I'm smart enough this time. Let's get our chat program actually running here. Keyboard interrupt. Good. Okay. So there we go. And you know what? I'm just going to type it on the... You know what? I don't need that... I don't need that one loop going in the background, but that's okay. It won't affect anything. So, well, it might be time for a quick then. We'll see how things go and how people vote as to what happens. And oh, geez, I forgot to set up my soundboard. We'll get to that after this episode. As you advance vocationally, you must leave your old responsibilities to various different people. On your next move forward, you are notified that a very young woman full of new ideas, techniques, and strategies is about to fill your old position. She will not be placed without your approval. You interview her for the position, and she comments that while she feels you did a good job where you were, she plans on doing a better one. She sees your skills in the area that you are about to leave as limited and old-fashioned, not because of any fault of your own, but because times are changing, you know? How does this make you feel? Are you, number one, thanks for the host, Grimmeth. Are you, number one, angry, or number two, calm about the situation? And let's see, did our poll actually start? No. Oh, I'm not connected to chat in this window. Give me a moment. Let me do a quick refresh. You leave a window open for too long and you lose connection to chat. Here we go. Poll start 2. Ah, very good. So, enter your vote now, or you may whisper it to RoboZerf if you wish to keep it a secret and to keep it safe. And we'll count up the votes and stick them wherever we want. And if you voted prior to the line that says voting opens, you will want to say your vote again. And look, we have a timer now. 5 seconds remain. The poll has ended. So I've got this running a little bit more smoothly here. Yes. I actually almost had this working with the actual poll system. Whoops. I'm a dingus. Now I have to go back to my terminal and see who actually won. Oh, it doesn't say. I know it was number 2. I was kind of paying attention to what was going down there. Oh, well. Let's go number 2. Control C. Start that back up. So, we are calm. But I'm going to use this keyboard. I'm a little bit better with that and stick this thing to the side. How are we going to act in our calmness? Are we going to, number 1, recommend that someone else do the job, or number 2, recommend hiring her? It seems so far that people are interested in hiring her for the job anyways. Maybe we realize that we are a little older than required for this. I'm just going to close this other browser window. Chrome thinks it's crashing or crapping out even though I'm not even playing the video on there. Just trying to refresh. The poll has ended. Let's see what happens here. I need some results. The winner is option 2 with 2 of the votes. We're going to recommend hiring her. She doesn't flip out and kill us. Congratulations, you live another day. That's very true. We did start this job when we were 17. In 3 months' time, everyone who comes in contact with her is complaining that she is intolerable to work with. You can call her in for a talk, or recommend that she be let go. Cast your votes now. Jeez. They need to move this alert icon for popped out chat, because it definitely covers, like if you open up a viewer list, it's right next to the close button. It's a little bit ridiculous. With the number of people we have voting, I'm going to go ahead and change the vote time just down a little bit as I do these polls. The winner is option 1 with 2 of the votes. You mentioned that she may be coming on too strong and that maybe she should take it easy. She tells you that she absolutely disagrees. The people who can't work with her simply aren't willing to work. So, how do you feel about this now? And if I just add an extra, let's put 20 seconds instead here, it should limit the poll's length. Ooh, it looks like so far we have a tie. If anyone's out there not voting, they could wield all the power in the world right now. But if not, don't fret. Zerf will come along and implement his tie-breaking routines. Save the day. Yes, it was a tie. Beep, beep, beep. Ping pong. The winner is going to be option 1. We're letting her continue for now. She continues pushing hard and succeeds in alienating everyone around her. Eventually, she is confronted and asked to leave. Your judgment about her was poor. Oh, well, let's see what that did to our stats. I bet your vocational thing went down a little bit here. We've aged 2 years in this time. And you know what? Nothing really happened. I guess if you make the right call, perhaps it goes up. But nothing bad happens if it goes down. This looks like a social event, I believe. You have seen your friend Marcia and her husband John socially for a long time. They have a very particular relationship. John insists on controlling every aspect of Marcia's life. One day you are talking to Marcia. She confesses that about 3 years ago she began seeing another man. One who is kind, gentle, and loving. She has been thinking about leaving John for this other man, but is unsure if she can. How do you feel about this situation? Press 1 for uncomfortable. Press 2 for comfortable. Oh, geez. Oh, there we go. Whew. Almost had no votes. It still turned out to be a tie, though. Perhaps I shouldn't put it down to just 20 seconds. Let's peep the results, though. And, of course, if it's a tie, so Zerf is choosing comfortable. All right, so how are we going to handle this? Are we going to, 1, don't give any direct advice, or 2, give her some advice? People seem on board with giving her some advice now that we're comfortable with the situation. I mean, even if you're uncomfortable with the situation, perhaps you could give advice in an uncomfortable situation. There's no reason why you couldn't. And the results will be in shortly. The winner is option 2 with 2 of the votes, obviously. What kind of advice are you going to give her? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 options here. Think about them carefully. Do you want to tell her to seek marriage counseling? That's number 1. Number 2, continue the affair. Number 3, divorce John and marry the other man. And number 4, divorce John and marry neither one. I mean, she can live in a relationship outside of marriage. It is, let's see, even if she was born in the 80s, it would currently be the 2020s right now. Ooh, number 5. Let's start a open relationship. But the winner is seek marriage counseling with 1 of the votes. There's no write-in votes, unfortunately. Marcia tells you that she and John have already been to several marriage counselors. 2 marriage counselors got so fed up with John that for the sake of their own sanity, they refused to see the couple anymore. 2 others said the problem was Marcia's own lack of assertiveness and her desire to be controlled, which Marcia knew anyways, but couldn't help. Do you want to give Marcia any more advice? Pull start 2. Oh, geez. People are waffling on the situation here. Earnshire is in with the power vote. I mean, it proves that every vote counts, especially in a system where there's only between 3 and 15 people voting, depending on how busy the day is. So, 5 seconds are up. The winner is option 1. We're going to give more advice. What advice will you be giving now, Sigmund? So, you only have 3 options now. Yes, jumping the gun. I've got to be a little faster on my pull finger here. I feel like in games where the options are always 3 options, it would be a lot easier to have this ready to go because you just tap, 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 ready to go each time. I've actually set it up so that if you say, or if I say, pull start with no variables, it automatically does 3 options for 30 seconds. So that way I don't have to always fill it out if I know it's something simple. But it's ended. Let's check the results. Option 3 with 2 of the votes. Let's see how this plays out for her. What kind of advice is this? I can't imagine why you would even suggest it, and neither can Marcia. She resents you for butting into her life, and the 2 of you begin to grow apart. Psh, preachy-ass game. All right, we're going to go ahead and do the side path. Because it's nice and short. Because of your fine vocational performance, you are singled out for your tremendous achievements and honored at an awards dinner hosted by important members of your work environment. During your introduction, the host notes that you are outstanding because of your ability to work with others, enriching the field and exemplifying the most outstanding qualities of hard work, patience, and pride. How do you feel about this? Are you, number 1, humble or modest? Number 2, embarrassed or anxious? Or number 3, proud? Yeah, he threw in as many of those fuck y'all bitches. I'm out. He threw in as many of those buzzwords as he could. Oh, and with a last minute vote, the last second vote, it looks like Lethal has. Oh, he hasn't. There's secret votes going on. Hoo hoo hoo! But the tiebreaker goes to option 3. We're proud. And how long of a speech shall we make? Lethal's after the long-winded speech. People seem to be sneaking in the short ones. Ooh, there's all kinds of secret votes going on. I love it. You can't be proud and talk a little. Yeah, I could see them doing that. This doesn't make any sense at all. Your speech fails because you just stutter about a lot. Despite your high confidence and amazing social skills. Polls over. Let's check the results. Option 1 with 3 of the votes. A long, proud speech. Some people would see this kind of choice as being narcissistic or conceited. In reality, you have earned this moment. There is no reason why you shouldn't enjoy it, as long as you don't get carried away with yourself. Who would you like to thank the most during your speech? We have plenty of time to thank people. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 options here. Start 4. Number 1, those with whom you work. Number 2, your boss. Number 3, your family. Or number 4, a higher power. Grimith wants to just vote for himself. Gotta thank Papa Zerf. Yep, he raised you right. I'm not surprised they don't have that as an option. You just really, yeah, Dwayne's always been our rock. Option 3, our family, with 2 of the votes. Yeah, it looks like the votes were spread out a little bit on that one. You appreciate the fact that a good family life can indeed help a person get ahead on the job. Just as stress in one area can compound stress in another, the love and support given by a family can ameliorate stress on the job. Jeez, gotta throw these $5 words. You have a rare ability, ameliorate. Thanks. Thanks, Grimmeth. Stress on the job. You have a rare ability to keep life in perspective. Congratulations on your success. I'm sure you will have even more in the future. Good job, everybody. You did a good job. Oh, people are still setting off fireworks even though Canada Day was a day ago. You need to talk to someone about a finance-related matter. The person with whom you are dealing has a reputation for being a stern, pragmatic, and very money-conscious business type. A meeting between you and this person is suggested. The outcome of such a meeting can affect your vocational sphere tremendously because she is very official. How do you feel about this situation? What did I do for Canada Day? I had some delicious barbecue at a friend's house. He made a smoked brisket that he had to... He bought such a large brisket, he had to cut it into thirds to get it to fit into the smoker. But it was miraculously done. Melt in the mouth. Very delicious. It's also his birthday. It was his birthday 2 days before Canada Day, so it was quite the party. And he had his own craft beers that he made himself and all sorts of stuff. It was a real I don't know what the metaphor of a time. The winner is option 3 with 2 votes. Very confident, which makes sense because we do have a very high confidence score. And how do we feel about this? Are we going to suggest a meeting at your place of work, at a lunch meeting, or a breakfast meeting? Give you all day to work on the breakfast meeting. What a metaphor of a time. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. There was some video I saw where they were like talking about Canadian slang, and one of them was one that I didn't think was a Canadian slang. It was the equivalent of a barn burner, but geez, I can't remember now. They also had a bunch of slang that I've never heard in my life, so I don't know how. Oh, there's a tie between the following votes, 2 and 3. But the winner is option 2. We're going to have a lunch meeting. Although, I'm going to say I suspect that they're going to be like, oh, I hope you're paying for this because we're money conscious. At lunch, the waiter asks if you would like to order a drink. Are you going to order an alcoholic drink, order a non-alcoholic drink, or wait for her to order first? There's a sly one here to do. But, maybe if you wait for her to order first, she just gets a water. Very money conscious. You don't want to be stuck drinking just water. Yeah, so the beers this guy made, one of them was a Radler, a lemon Radler. It was funny because there was a little too much CO2 in the line when I started pouring it. And, oh, non-alcoholic drink. I never noticed that. And man, the foam on the head of the beer tasted almost like lemon meringue. It was crazy. Very delicious. Oh, wait. The winner of the tie is option 3. Wait for her to order first. We may never know what a non-alcoholic drink is. She orders a double vodka martini. You can order an alcoholic drink or order a non-alcoholic drink. How do you feel about the situation now? Looks like Things have changed a little. Especially the word drink. Perhaps the two of you. Oh, hey there, bud. Oh, Lucky's tired out. Triple vodka for us. We'll drink her under the table. Lucky's super tuckered out from the barbecue. They can't legally serve more than a double. But if you slip him an extra couple bucks, you might just get what you want. With 4 votes, the winner is option 1. Order an alcoholic drink. Oh man, it's loading up something good. I hope. The two of you get ripped and both get fired. Your history shows that you are not a regular alcohol abuser. Because of this, you are able to regulate your drinking so that it doesn't affect your judgment. Because your thoughtfulness, aka social judgment, is generally moderate to strong, the meeting goes well. The outcome is an increase in resources to the tune of $10,000. Very nice. We got to check out how this one played out, because it definitely must have put up our sphere here. You're not used to drinking alcohol, so it overwhelms you. Yes, that is the type of thing the game might do. So, we're still quite happy. We're still quite calm. Nothing bad happened there. 91 on the vocational. We're the cock of the walk at work, and we got $177,000. All right. Before we continue on with this next social event, I'm going to ask you a yes or no question. Do you want to buy a car? Vote 1 for yes, vote 2 for no. Jeez. Papa Zerf needs help getting places now that he's getting older. We do not have a car yet. At all. The last couple of sessions, despite being flush with cash, chat chose not to upgrade the house because we're currently not a fixer-upper, but the one above that. And they just kept not wanting to get a car whenever they had the option. So let's check the results. What a surprise. People want to buy a car. Welcome to the wonderful world of major purchases. We read through this last time. Yes, we'd like to make a purchase. Have automobile in here, don't you? Yeah, automobile. They did buy a travel adventure, though. And that was pretty okay, but they got the cheapest trip. It was kind of boring. Less of a travel adventure and more just a travel thing that happened. There are 5 types of automobiles you may buy. This is good because it gives me the chance to get my pull start on before it even gets there. So, what are we going to get? An old clunker, late model used car, a new economy car, a new sports car, or a luxurious prestige car for $29.99. Wow, that is cheap for a luxurious prestige car. Wow. And that's true. We got $10,000 all by ourselves last time. Just for having a good meeting. We deserve a little bit of something nice going on. And yes, there are people secretly voting in the background. The poll has ended. Let's check the results. The winner is option 4 with 2 votes. Yeah, it was spread out a little bit. A new sports car. What a show off. The truth is, you'll probably never have the chance to live it up in a sports car more than now. If you can afford it, enjoy it. And we can. Are they going to ask us how we're going to pay? How would you like to pay for this? I'm only giving you 2 options here. No backing out. Cash or credit? Number 1 is cash. Number 2 is credit. I mean, the thing is, I don't think the credit in this game has interest. It doesn't seem like it does. Which, when you consider it's a computer game, I don't think it would have been all that hard to program in the interest into the game. Every time a year ticks, you owe them another 5%. Although at the time this game was made, interest rates were much higher than they are now. You're right. Programs can't math. Anyways, let's check the results of this poll. Hey, the winner's option 1 with 4 votes. It does lecture you about that sort of stuff. Thank you for cashing in on this once-in-a-lifetime value. Come again soon. So there we go. Now if we check our status, we're 52 years old and just bought our first car. It's a sweet sports car. We still have more money than we started the game with. And it's a standard. Unfortunately, you haven't driven a car in the last, 40 years or so. So you're really chewing through the transmissions. Wrap it around a utility pole. At the last minute, you become the only person available to drive a group of 5 howling, screeching, rambunctious, overactive first graders to their first school play. Pro tip, shouldn't have bought a car. How do you feel about these children in this situation? And the situation. Are you horrified, slightly put off, or happy? And slightly put off is a reasonable thing. We have a daughter, and our daughter actually should have moved out by now, I would imagine. We had her at the age of 38 or so, I think. So she's probably off to college. Yeah, that's true. You'd be helping all your friends move. The poll has ended. And there's option 2. Slightly put off. And we can drive the children or make up an excuse. Get your votes in now. I mean, knowing this game, it might do something stupid like if you decide not to drive them, it murders all the children. But it'll include your child, even though she's in her 20s. It's true. I mean, you can be annoyed at the responsibilities that you have and still do them with great talent. With 2 of the votes, we're going to be driving the children. Ooh, it's loading a wall of text here. On the way to the play, there is the usual cacophony of 7-year-olds' high-pitched squeals, with the occasional, "Stop that!" One child is nervous about the play and requests that you pull over for a moment to release some of his butterflies, along with today's lunch. Cacophony. I still don't know what that is. It's not a thing that people say anymore. Oh, geez. Just keep going, yeah. Second verse, same as the first, a little bit louder and a little bit worse. After this event, the other children banish him to a corner of the car with chants of "Gross, gross, gross." When you arrive at the school auditorium, you are informed of a catastrophe. The giant mushroom has fallen ill with chickenpox. Would you be willing to fill in for him? Please. That is exactly the song I was thinking of, Maxwell Damage. Shall we continue with this? Are we going to become the giant mushroom? Vote 1 for yes. Vote 2 for no. I'm going to sip this tea. That's true. We have plenty of acting prowess. In fact, the male lead wanted to knock boots with us afterwards, and we shot him down because we're too damn cool for school. Let's check the results. Option 1 with 2 of the votes. Yes, we shall continue as the giant mushroom. Bravo! Your giant mushroom performance is riveting. You could easily win the Tony Award for Best Supporting Role as a fungus. Did you see the giant mushroom? He was a real fun guy. Actually, the giant mushroom was played by a woman. Since you are putting on a few extra pounds around the waist, you consider a physical exercise program, which might benefit you. A health club might not be a bad idea. How are you interested or uninterested in your physical health? And depending on this vote, I'm going to go ahead and pick the one that makes sense afterwards, because the game will just chide us if we try to pick the wrong one and probably make us do it again. Hey, KD Studios, welcome to the great consciousness of Zerfina. Yeah, it does make sense. I mean, I used to walk everywhere, and I was in the best shape of my life when I used to do that. And then I got a car. Now I drive everywhere. The winner is option 1 with 3 of the votes. So we're going to join a health club. The price of membership is $500. Would you care to join? Can you afford it? Definitely can't afford it, but we'll give you the guys the option to decide what's going on. It looks like this is one of those health clubs where you just pay $500 and then you're in. If they were that way nowadays, I would definitely take that option and have a lifelong $500 membership. I mean, boys. The clubs around here are terrible. There's one that's that started in my hometown called Good Life. It's one of the biggest clubs in Canada now. And Jacksour's got in when she was a student, and her fee is like $15 every 2 weeks. My fee is $32 every 2 weeks, and I'm going to be canceling it pretty darn soon because I ain't got time for that crap. Winner's option 1 with 3 of the votes. The only club Lethal's got is Lethal Living. That's pretty cheap. It's true. I mean, I got some free weights and stuff floating around in boxes. If I find those boxes and lift those boxes, I'll get a pretty good workout. After a week of sweating and toiling, you feel worse than when you began. You can honestly think you can. Do you honestly think you can keep up with this? Do you have the confidence and the what would I call it? The thoughtfulness and whatever the last one is. The stats. Do you have the stats to keep up with it? Oh, there goes Lucky. He's off to bed. He's so reluctant about it. He's funny about it because he comes in here and there's a little tiny bed in my office and he lays on that. And then when Jacksource goes to bed, she calls him to bed. And he looks at her like, what are you talking about, bed? I'm in a bed. Something happened with the chatbot that didn't warn us a few seconds left, but we're definitely going to be going for this club. Just checking our stats. Self-discipline, that's what I was thinking of. You certainly have the self-discipline needed for sticking to a rigorous exercise program. How about joining a nice aerobics class to get your heart in shape? Geez, they're just all about the questions here. Now, I wonder if this is one of those things where you join the aerobics class, but if you are not already in good enough shape, you overdo it, and your heart gives out on you. It is a big-ass single point of failure. You're absolutely right. What you got to get is one of those artificial hearts in beside your real heart with a little dial on the outside, so you can just turn it up a little bit when you need that extra blood pumping. Redundant pumps, yeah. I mean, when you get a new kidney put in, they don't take out the old ones. The winner is option 1 with 3 of the votes. Yes, we are going to try this. Let's see what happens. Ooh, it's loading an awful lot for just joining an aerobics class. The class is full of women at least 15 years your junior. This makes you a bit self-conscious. Steve, however, is a hunk. Getting in shape might be more fun than you think. At the end of a 6-week program, your body looks terrific. We did not die of a heart attack due to overworking our heart. But we do have a few health-based things coming up, so it's probably a good thing we got into the extra shape. Taking on the old ones costs extra. And it's not worth the risk. There's a lot of blood there that could be lost. Your father's eyesight is beginning to fail him. And his reflexes are not as quick as they used to be. In spite of this, he refuses to turn in his driver's license. Although he rarely drives, when he does, he is an absolute menace. Psh, I resent that. You are sure he will wind up killing either himself or an innocent person. I will say, I hope that if I ever get in the situation, that little Zerfina stops me from doing such a thing. No one is innocent. They all had it coming. So it's really just what mood are you going to be in when you try to take my license away from me? My grandfather was very reluctant to get rid of his license. And about 6 months after he finally gave it up, he was very proud of his legally blind card that it got him free rides on the bus. At least once he stopped driving, he took full advantage of it, I guess. The results are option 1 with 2 of the votes. You're going to be sympathetic about it. But how are you going to go about this? Are you going to tell him to give up his license? Try to reason with me. Or not bother yourself? Papa Zerf could be stubborn. Just tell him to give it up. Will that work? Maybe in a sympathetic way. He will be able to handle that. It's, I mean, realistically, the age that Zerfall would be now in the game, he would have to go for regular tests in Canada and would probably have his license taken away. But when this game was made, they didn't do such things yet. Winner is option 2 with 2 of the votes. We're going to try to reason with Zerf. You try explaining that he might hurt himself. Nonsense! That's the matter. What's the matter with you? Do you think I'm a child? I can take care of myself. Sympathy does not always soothe the savage beast. Your father feels as if an important decision was being made for him. This is very upsetting to older people. After spending a lifetime being reasonable for your responsible for your children, it's hard to accept their attempts to be responsible for you. He doesn't give up his license. Well, hopefully he doesn't die anytime soon. Yes, the little backdoor voters, secret votes, are making secret wins. Your car has been taken in for some minor repair work. The work will not cost you any appreciable amount of money, but it is an inconvenience, since you'll have to drop the car off at the repair shop early in the morning and rearrange your usual travel plans. Take away my wife, and now my only remaining love. I'm 59. My 1959. Yeah. I mean, we checked our status one time as a young adult, and somehow that killed our mother from cancer. So be careful when you check your stats. You call in to make an appointment, and the service representative tells you that the repairs are made on first-come, first-served basis. That is not the case at all. How do you handle this situation? Comma 2. Stats check. Your mom, she did. Yeah, it was pretty crappy. Yeah, it's true. We have had nothing but bad luck with this car. Okay. But are we going to be angry or calm about it? Jeez. Secret votes are happening. Are they enough to swing it? Ooh! 5 seconds left. Just in the nick of time. Votes are made. And we are going to be angry. How are we going to act in our anger? Are we going to angrily delay the repairs and drive around crazy, or angrily bring in the car to be fixed? Ooh. Looks like we're going to be angry in person. So yeah, I have had this last week off work. It was kind of relaxing. You know, a change is as good as a break, but I've been working pretty much every day, painting and crap. But the basement is pretty much done. So all that's left to do is clean up everything in this office. There's a whole lot of crap around here, and move it down to the basement. So next week on C64 Sunday, we'll be broadcasting from a whole new locale. The winner is option 2 with 2 of the votes. We're going to bring in the car to be fixed in Angry May. When will you bring in the car to be fixed? As early as possible or late morning on the way to work. And so far, it looks like the walls are not green screen in hue. As much as it's going to be my basement office to share with the dog, it's Jacksor's prerogative to choose all of the colors ever. And every room in our house will eventually be Revere Pewter. It's a senior assistant lucky. He's actually a secretary. Option 1, 3 votes. But it's not too bad. But I did at the dollar store notice they have green screen colored Bristol board that I might be able to just prop up behind me in such a way that I could green screen things. It all depends on how the layout of the office ends up being. I got to figure out. This desk is kind of a weird shape. The table behind me is pretty long, and there's a couch that's got to stay down there. So see how it works. There's a long line of people already in front of you. Apparently, they have been living at the service station, anticipating a car repair fad that seems to be sweeping the area. They're all holding coupons, which ran in the local paper. How come we don't have a coupon? Since you don't have one, you will be paying regular price. To make matters worse, since you do not have an appointment anyplace else, you cannot take your car anywhere to be fixed that day. How? We're going to angrily find coupons. How are we going to handle the situation? We're going to wait for another day or set up camp and wait in line. And Ringloth in with a fast vote. Boom, 2. KG Studios trying to write in some sort of third option. I do think I finally have it set up that if you're not within the range, you can vote again. But for a while, buy a bicycle. For a while, it was set up so that if you voted any number outside of the range, it would still get you in trouble. And look, last second, he makes it a tie. Beep, beep, beep. Ping pong. Snatches away the victory. And we're going to wait for another day. Let's see what happens. If this isn't major, you can probably live with it, right? Wrong! Lex Luthor comes out of nowhere. Clank, clank! Grind, sputter, cough. Silence. Your car is no longer among the living. Towing, repair, and service charges cost $500. I regret everything. You know what? It probably would have cost us like $300 for the repairs anyways. At least we didn't have to wait in line. All right, I'm throwing you into this family event because I don't know what it does. And I want to find out. All right, you're going to have... You're a little old for a child, so you're going to have a family experience. This is the first family experience you've experienced since having a child. So it's about time, especially since you thank them so much. Yeah, I wish it was that cheap now, too. My last car bill was for just regular service. I had to get the brakes replaced. It was $900 for all the crap that got done. But luckily for me, originally they were just going to tool the brakes, and they couldn't. And so they charged me the same price for tooling as they did for new parts. They just got rid of the labor, but still a ripoff. Your daughter has just introduced you to her date for the evening. His name is Mark Mongo Mattingly. He looks like a nice young man, but his jewelry is a bit odd, particularly a one ring, which he wears in his left nostril. You wonder if a boy who wears an earring in his nose, a nose ring, can be trusted with your daughter. How do you feel about this? 1. Suspicious. Call your daughter over for a chat. 2. Trusting. Wish the two of them an enjoyable night. 3. Suspicious, but don't say anything. And 4. Trusting, but call her over for a chat anyways. An interesting option. 5 seconds remain. But how interesting is it really? Well, we're about to find out. Because the winner is option 4 with 2 of the votes. Trusting, but call her over anyways. What kind of chat could you possibly have without trying to pry, criticize, or express shock at her choice of dating partner? I know you just want to make sure that she knows what she's doing. Do you think she would say no to that? I doubt it. If you are going to trust your daughter, you will have to do it in words and actions. Burp, 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 burp. Yeah, they paired it up themselves and still called you out for it. That's exactly the type of game Alter Ego is. While looking in the mirror, you notice the skin around your eyes is marked by deep cracks which radiate towards the temples, like dry tree roots in search of water. The deep lines in your forehead, and for the first time you realize they make you look as if your face is frozen in a constant scowl. How does this make you feel? Oh my god, I full screen chat. There we go. Are you depressed or unconcerned? You do have pretty high confidence. We have resting bitch face, which lethal feline considers a fate worse than death. Apparently, we could get the Joan Rivers done if we so choose. And then you die from an infection. 5 seconds left to get your votes in if you want to affect the outcome here. But so far, it looks like the option unconcerned wins with 4 of the votes. 2 secret votes happening. And just so you know at home, I have turned off the routine that actually told me who was voting for what thing. So, you can now safely assume that I won't oust you in your votes. Anyways, 1 to 3. Are you going to get some cosmetic surgery, ask for advice, or do nothing? Get them boobs. I don't think that's going to help with your face. Although I guess if people are staring at them, they won't have to worry about what your face looks like. Let's check the results here. And the winner is option 3 with 2 votes. But there were votes for all kinds of things there. Obviously, the secret votes came in and snatched it away from Katie Studios and Ringloth. You don't seem upset by the fact that you are getting a few wrinkles. You must be the self-confident type. That is extremely important in this phase of life. People of your age have a tendency to use this period as a time for self-evaluation. Being dissatisfied with yourself and your accomplishments can only serve to heighten feelings of depression and fear related to the physical side of aging. Your lack of concern for the superficial and cosmetic aspect of your life is impressive. However, your bargaining posture is highly dubious. Yeah, I've got wrinkles too, man. The fact that we've made it to almost 60 without too bad a face, that's pretty good. Dimples do not count as wrinkles. People consider them attractive or cute. Other people think you're a freak. In the middle of a great rush to get out of the house, you pick a pair of shoes only to see the heel dangling precariously from the back. It looks like you can pound the heel back into the shoe and still wear it. How do you feel? Are you 1, determined, or 2, cautious? I wouldn't be surprised if the game gives you the option to cautiously pound the heel back into the shoe, but in your caution, you don't pound it hard enough and break an ankle. There's all kinds of... That's the thing about this game. You really don't know what they're going to try to pull on you, and you never know when something might kill you. Every once in a while, they tell you something would have killed you. But the winner is option 1 with 2 of the votes. Determined. Now we're going to pound the shoe back into place, or determinedly look for another pair of shoes. I mean, you can't do that with determination. And perhaps if you're cautious and you look for another pair of shoes, you're not determined enough to find a good one. But if Zerfina takes after her mother at all, she has several pairs of shoes waiting in the wings, but none of them are the right pair for this occasion. #pound. Oh, and we've got some pound love coming from Katie Studios. The poll has ended. The results are in, and we're going to pound it. The heel goes in easily and seems surprisingly sturdy. Will you wear them? Oh, I don't know. This seems like a thing where they're trying to get you to back out for some reason, but it went in pretty easily. But does it go in easily and come out easily? That's the real question. Oh, KD Studios is backing out of the... He just wanted to pound things, and now he's trying to pull out. He thinks it's a trap now that the game has given him the option to second guess himself. He's choosing to do so. But what does everyone else think? The secret votes probably have it. The winner is option 1 with 2 of the votes. For once, KD Studios was the voice of reason, but he was voted down. You take 2 good steps, and then think you feel a slight wobble. Are you absolutely positive? Oh, man. Jeez. Secret voters have all the power right now. The public vote is split between yes and no. Pretty interesting, actually. I mean, I don't think anything worse than a sprained ankle should happen, but we'll see what happens. Maxwell Damage is trying to pound the vote. The poll is in. The winner is option 1 with 2 of the votes. Anonymous voters have chosen. The shoe wobbles slightly during the show. The shoe. Well, it's the big show. The show wobbles slightly during the course of the day. Unfortunately, you don't have the balance necessary to keep it on your foot. You step to the side and sprain your ankle badly. As a result of this, you will repair the shoe again yourself, or bring the shoe to a repair store. Or option 3, die. Oh, man. Ringloth is just... He really wants to keep it together. Just keep pushing for that independence. Buy a new fucking pair of shoes. It's not like we don't have the money. Ah, you're trying to get the cobbler skill up. Yeah, there you go. Well, I will say, by what the results look like so far, it looks like Anonymous has changed their opinion of the situation. They're not going for a broken ankle. You may have to get the shoes repaired professionally, but you still have to put on a pair of shoes to go out. Are you going to pick a relatively unworn pair of shoes that look good but never fit right? Or pick a pair of old, comfortable shoes? What type of crap is this? Something tells me we're going to run into somebody or something, and the shoes are what's going to be what matters most in this encounter. Hey, Bobo, welcome to the Zerfina Collective. You're just in time to vote on what type of shoes we'll wear when going to get a different pair of shoes repaired. Because we tried to repair them ourselves, and we badly sprained our ankle. And as Arthresh points out, no shoes will be comfortable at this point. Let's check the results. Don't die before the stream loads. Oh, poor Bobo. He didn't even hear my little spiel about the shoes. Oh, well. The winner is option 2. With 6 of the votes. Pick a pair of comfortable old shoes. A pair of sensible shoes will never bite you in the back. On the foot, that is. You spend the day in comfort. Intelligence rises sharply. So there you go. You've got smart. Got to get smart. We were already pretty smart, though. Although with the way you guys were acting in that situation prior to that, it was very interesting. Yeah. Maybe hurting your ankle. When you hurt it, you were like, ooh, that's smarts. And then you became smarter and better at pitching. You've learned a curveball. All right, let's go ahead and check this heart-based scenario. Ooh. We're probably well into our late 50s, perhaps early 60s. And this episode contains a subject matter of a sexual nature. Yes, sometimes you have to run the high latency. Too bad. A college-age guy named Bobby Reinhardt, works... Oh, that's my... See, Papa Zerf does need those glasses. You probably should get his license taken away. Bobby Reinhardt works at the dry cleaner store near that you use. On one evening, you arrive at the store just as it is closing. You absolutely need the clothes tonight. Bobby is already out the door. Because you know him by name, and because you know that he is friendly, you feel sure that he will reopen the store for you and get you your clothes. How do you decide to act? Whoa, 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 hold your horses here. There you go. I will say this. I have programmed in a couple of things that, first off, one is friendly, two is anxious. If you vote too many times, RoboZerf will whisper you a little message. Oh, KD Studios is trying it out. Did it work? I hope it worked. It worked for me when I was testing it. The poll has ended. Let's check the results. The winner is option 1 with 4 of the votes. And I mean, I don't want to assume your decisions. Are you going to ask him to reopen the store or decide to wait until the store reopens? I feel like, I mean, it's okay that they warned you that this has a sexual nature, but it would have been a lot more surprising if you just friendly asked him to reopen the store and then... luckily, Papa Zerf isn't here to witness what's going on with Zerfina, the gilf. Not for me, but for this Bobby. Bobby. Let's check the results. Option 1 with 4 of the votes. Ask him to reopen the store. Your social skills make it easy for you to ask this request in a way. Holy crap, that one was close. Dang it, Bobby. Your social skills make it easy to ask for this request in a way that is difficult to refuse. He reopens the store for you. As you watch him disappear into the back of the store, you notice how firm his body is. And for a moment, you drift back to the days when you were young. Was it that long ago, you wonder? Yes, you conclude. It was that long ago. I guess I don't get the... Oh, they're those sparkly ones. It was that long ago. Bobby snaps you back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity. By handing you a big pile of clothes and asks if you would like a hand walking out to the car. You thank him and offer him a hand. Just before you pull out of the parking lot, you notice that Bobby is having car trouble. Rather than having genuine concern about his transportation difficulties, you find yourself entertaining thoughts of a fling with this younger man. How do you handle the situation? Oh man, KD Studios is trying to get all the 2s in there. I would be interested to see somebody vote a total of 10 or 11 times within the time limit. Because there's more than one message you might receive from the bot. Tonight's special, Trouble Down in Cougar Town. That's pretty funny. The poll has ended. Let's check the results here. The winner is option 1 with 4 of the votes. Offer to help jumpstart the car. I have a feeling it's not going to work. Nothing helps. The battery is completely dead. The game is trying to roll you down a path here. Oh man, those fireworks are pretty distracting. How do you handle the situation? Offer to lift him back home. Or do nothing and go back on your own. I mean, just because... Wow, they are really close. Somebody's doing those in their backyard, I can tell. They're going to light a tree on fire. Luckily, we've had lots of rain lately. Whoa, Maxwell Damage is taking this to a whole new level. He wants to vote number 3. Attach jumper cables to Bobby's nipples. Damn it, Bobby. That's not what that's for. Oh. The power of alter ego compels you. Yes, they are trying to force you down a path. Yes, we are still with Rock, but Before I peep the results here, you may recall that The Rock had a fling when we were still young and supple. The winner is option 1 with 6 votes. Offer to give him a lift back home. In the car on your way home, you noticed him looking at you in a particular sort of way. He tells you that it's funny to be sitting next to someone he's only seen from behind a counter. You find yourself talking very freely to him. For a moment, your connection to him is like taking a fast train ride back to adolescence. Oh, geez, Katie Studios, get ready for this. Whoa, that one's huge. Like my window's closed and you can still hear that. Holy crap. Because you are relating to him more on his own level, he perceives you as a different kind of adult. You are honestly curious and even envious about his life, rather than critical, like most other adults. As you begin to feel younger, he begins to feel older. They are not going very high in the air. There's no way that they're not going to hit the tree at least a little bit with that. And why are they doing white and blue ones? That's not for this country. Back in my day, our fireworks were only red and white. You soon realized that you could enjoy talking to Bobby for a long time. He's young and charming, and just a little naive. He motions proudly to a cluster of apartments, exclaiming that he lives alone. He moved out of his parents' home because he needed to be independent. He invites you up for a cup of coffee. How would you like to handle the situation? 1, go up for a cup of coffee. Or 2, say that you have to get back to your own home. Katie Studios is desperate for people to vote 1. I'm telling you, Katie Studios, if you want to convince people, you got to say 1 like 11 times in 5 seconds. Yeah, it's not going to be fast enough. Yeah, the poll ended. The winner is option 2 with 4 of the votes. Oh, the secret voters. I mean, there were people voting secretly for 1. It lost by 1 vote. So, all you 4 voters out there know that if any one of you had chosen the other one, you could have seen a sexy adventure. Every vote counts. Very true. There's the red fireworks. That's better. Do you know what? I'm gonna throw a safe state down here, and if we die early, we'll have a little bit of something extra here to something. Anyways, say that you have to get back to your own home. Jeez, Bobo. Yeah, so Bobo's ousting himself as having voted for option 2. But it's true. If you had not been here, Bobo, it would have gone down to RoboZerf, and who knows what he would have picked. On the way back home, you begin to think back to a time when you were just a teenager yourself. Maybe Bobby was the type of guy who would have asked you out. He was very attractive. You sigh as you are transported briefly to another time in your life. Oh, the Twizzler ones. And RoboZerf is a trickster. I'm surprised. They went on and on about, are you going to wear the shoe? Are you sure you're going to wear the shoe? But when you decide you're not going to have an affair with a teenage boy or a college-age boy, they're like, yeah, okay. Yeah, you only live once, but whatever. A friend of yours who believes in astrology, tarot cards, and similar kinds of self-direction tries to convince you to have your cards read by Madame Natasha, a psychic medium. Did you know that recently they've changed the sizes of cups, that a psychic medium is now a psychic small? How do you feel? Frivolous or skeptical? And I'm telling you, someone's got to vote. Like 11 times. It'll trigger something. Just do it. Oh man, those fireworks. Yeah, here we go. There's something after you get the whisper. It still does something. Oh, but the poll ended before it went off. Oh, you get red text from Beam. Okay. I won't give you too hard a time then. I guess if you are a moderator, you are allowed to do it a little more fast. All right, let's check the results here. Where's option 2 with 3 of the votes? We are skeptical. Are we going to see the medium or not see them? I mean, you can see them. See, the only reason why I don't want to vote, actually, I'll do it myself. It's set up. Perhaps I should make it a little less. It's set up so that if you vote too many times past when it asks you if you're a little trigger happy, it says in chat, it calls you out in chat, and says, it would say something to the effect of, "Hey, lethal feline, I'm only programmed to let Zerfall vote that many times, or to take out Zerfall's vote that many times," or something like that. Let's check the results here. The winner is option 1 with 3 of the votes. Perhaps we're going to pull a Houdini on this person and want them to be true, but skeptically just tear them apart. I mean, you can still have a good time if you're just there for fun. You step inside a dark room. Medium Natasha looks more like a large Natasha and fills most of the space. Haha, the game went in a similar direction with my joke. You notice that she has a kind of face and gentle voice. A kind face and a gentle voice. Like, what kind of face? Moon face. And chicken legs. The fee for a reading is $50. Cash only, please, darling. Natasha asks if you want to continue. That's exactly what she says. Cash only, please. Do you want to continue? And they spend a lot of money on these dang fireworks. I don't know why they wouldn't have done them on Canada Day. Do you know what? Oh, man. Can we get there fast enough? Nope. Shoot. There's no gap between my monitors, so I can't slide the cord between there. Sorry, guys. No fireworks for you. Let's go ahead and peep the results. Ooh, there was a tie between votes 1 and 2. Beep, 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 ping pong. The winner is vote 1. We're going to waste our $50. Oh, I thought you were skeptical. Oh, well, it's your money. Yo, you didn't say, oh, I thought you were skeptical when we freaking decided to go. Jeez. And it is our money. Shut your mouth, game. Do what we want. Do what you want. Do what you want with your money. Madame Natasha speaks. You are very... You are a very interesting young laddie, my dear. Some mysterious and exciting. Sometimes sober and withdrawn. Yeah, I'm trying to read it the way it's spelt, kind of, but it's not really. You will have mixed luck in life. You understand it, darling. Mixed luck. In a very, very short time, you will have 2 experiences. One, a very lucky experience, and one not lucky, but not necessarily terrible either. I see people standing around you in an open place and talking to you in a loud voice. What else? Let's see. Oh, yes. I see evil coming into your life. Great forces of evil causing you pain and suffering. This is all the cards will tell us for now, darling. It's supposed to be Miss Cleo. For $100, I take traveler's checks if you have it. I will light a candle which will tell the rest of the story. Are you willing? Da or niet? Oh, she's got you figured out. She's got it figured out. She's got to tell people bad stuff's coming. Good stuff too, but bad stuff. Oh, we got to light a candle. And yes, judging by the da or niet. It looks like the results are in. And the winner is option 2 with 4 votes. Niet. We had a little bit of fun. But you know what? If we're going to spend $100, you might as well spend it at the slots or something. At least you have a chance to get some of it back. Too bad. Now the forces will bring you bad luck. That's the way it goes, I guess. On the way out of the room, you trip over a loose floorboard. Madame Natasha yells, "This is only the beginning, darling." Uh-oh. You got yourself cursed. Thinner. Oh, you're getting a flashback to your poor goldfish. Oh, jeez. That board's a stage prop. It's all part of the thing to get you. A social gathering of old friends. Attention. Starting over. At a social gathering of old friends, attention focuses on Marcia Brandon, a never-married woman who has arrived wearing outlandish clothes, a hairstyle at least 20 years behind the times, and makeup that seems to have been applied with a spatula. Friends begin elbowing one another. You hear someone mutter a sentence which ends in beauty school dropout and a giggle. Someone else offers the tag a big lady in training to describe her. The oddness of her appearance is both comical and unsettling. Later, Marcia comes over to you and asks how you've been. How do you decide to act? Oh, and a beehive do. Yeah. The elf played a mean trick. Wait. There you go. Now vote. Jeez. Jumping the gun. Ooh, people are looking to be supportive. Yeah, and you know what? That does fit Zerfina's character for how she's been living her life so far. But are you going to supportively make a hostile comment? Or is the game going to be preachy about trying to be nice to people and bringing their problems into your life? Because they do that a lot too. Well, you should probably just tell her to get help from somebody else. But with 6 votes, people are very strong about this one. They want to be supportive. And what will we do? Say something positive? Or make a hostile comment? This might be one of those things where they expect people to try to be supportive and say this. They don't want to be the ass face. But if you don't have the stats, there's a chance that it will just flip it on you. She's bringing the beehive back. Yep. Those other blue-haireds don't know how to act. Yep. Makeup without a spatula? Psh, that's just jacked. And the winner is option 1 with 4 of the votes. Did that actually show up? Yes. See, the chat doesn't always scroll to the bottom. So we're going to say something positive to her. In a quiet voice, she asks if she can speak with you privately about something. Are you going to refuse or walk away from the crowd for a moment? What actually is going to happen, Bobo, is you get away from the crowd with her. You take off her glasses and ruffle up her hair a bit, and suddenly she's the next hot number. I should have put a shorter poll on this one. I think that no one's going to vote to refuse this. Let's wait a few more seconds here and peep the results. The winner is option 2 with 5 of the votes. We're going to walk away from the crowd for a moment. She's going to look so wizard in the next scene. She thanks you for the kind words and mentions that she realizes everyone around her thinks she's strange. You've never really heard her talk at length, but find out that she really doesn't care what other people think, and never did. She has had a very enjoyable life on the whole. She ain't crazy, she's just living it up. In the city. It seems that she needs $5,000 of seed money to get a new cosmetics company off the ground. Electric eyeshadow and foundation putty are 2 of the products under development now. She asks if she'd be willing to get in on the ground floor. If the venture is successful, you will earn half of the profits. Are you going to invest in the company or pass up the opportunity? Here's the interesting thing about this before I start the poll. You have the money to spare. It might be ridiculous, but perhaps it might be fun too. You know, it could be like a little pet project. Haha, Maxwell Damage suggests perhaps the $5K is what it would cost just for one application of her makeup. Could be true. But it looks like people, for the most part, are saying fuck it, like Lethal Feline, and going for investing in the company. Normally in this game we don't bother with this sort of thing. She's a walking sample. But, you know, that's the thing, is that normally you don't go for this stuff, and it's kind of interesting sometimes to see where it might lead, as long as it doesn't lead to our death. We're going to invest in the company. The project is a failure. You have lost your investment. That's lame. They should at least make it fun. I wonder if there's a chance that it's successful. Probably not. But you never know. And after we turn this bend in life, I'm going to go ahead and have some family time for you guys up next, because why not? Yeah, give us a word picture. I mean, it'll take 1,000 words to make a good picture, but we're nice and old. Time to have everything scammed from us. Perhaps a relative whom you haven't seen in many years, calls you up on the phone with a hard luck story. He needs approximately $5,000 in order to keep his house. You have heard that he has certain bad habits. Though when he speaks to you, he sounds decent enough. Perhaps he really has fallen on hard times. He appeals to you for the loan, which he assures he will repay within the year. Everyone has the same quote. I just need 5,000 more bucks. Oh, Grimmeth has hard times right here. How do you feel about this person? Are you sympathetic or unsympathetic? Looks like they finally finished off with that fireworks display. Dusty Roads, that gift. Miser mode engage. There we go. Last little bit of tea out of this container. Oh. Still warm. Yeah, he only wants us when he wants something. And it looks like we are unsympathetic with 3 of the votes. So it was split a little bit, but not by that much. And we are going to go ahead and start another poll. Are we going to lend him the money unsympathetically? Or are we going to not lend him the money unsympathetically? I mean, I could see the game giving us a hard time for unsympathetically lending him the money, but there is an unsympathetic way to go about doing that. That's where you lend him the money and then you give him a frickin' hard time. Oh, Bobo's secret vote is out for everyone to see. You know, you hound him for the money when you want it back, and you just don't. And take him to small claims court if he doesn't give it to you. You're like, hey, I helped you out, but the game probably would not go to that sort of result. The winner's option 2 with 4 votes. Do not lend him the money. And now it's going to give us a sob story about how family is important. I guess you think it's wisest to play safe. Good idea. This episode could only have spelled trouble. You knew he was trouble when he walked in. All right, time for a familial event. And then we'll check our status and see how we're doing. You do not have the option to try to have a child because it is too late in life, and the game should realize that you don't have a cradle. You just have a playpen. That is a quote that was given to me by an older lady that I worked with at one point in time. What is going to happen? This is loading up quite the family experience, it seems. It's taking a lot of RAM. You awake one morning, and in the confusion of still being in a daze, you remember, this is Kathy's wedding day! Shit. You forgot about that? You hurry to get ready, making sure all the last-minute arrangements are made. Your hands are shaking so badly you can hardly put your makeup on or even dress yourself. The ceremony is truly heartwarming. My children grow up so fast. Oh, my children do grow up so fast. As you watch your beautiful daughter walk down the aisle, you can hear the chatter of relatives whispering their delight at this happy occasion. She clearly married Mondo. She's taken after her mom, who married a guy named Rock. A few more steps, and she'll be gone forever. For a moment, you are filled with overwhelming sadness. Suddenly, you begin to think about the pattering of little feet running around the house again. A whole new generation of blessings yet to arrive. You say the word grandma to yourself, not thinking about the age associated with it. Just the two words, grand and mother. Perhaps you truly can become that gilf you seek to become. Unfortunately, your daughter's marriage turns out to be a disaster. She moves back into your home less than a year after the wedding. Womp womp. You're going to have to wait a little longer to hear those pitter-patter of feet. Let's go ahead and peep our status here. All right, we are the age of 63 now. Still a law assistant, still married to Rock. We're quite calm, quite confident, expressive. Everything's on this page is above 80. The only downcome we have right now, downfall, is our physicality. It's kind of low. We have over $200,000 in the bank. Not too shabby. And you know what? It's been a while for poor Rock. Yes, our health is the same as our age. Oh, that's when you're supposed to have champagne. Welcome to the marriage icon. While you are in this icon, you can make arrangements to plan to enter into marriage and or... I'm sorry to have to be so blunt. Leave marriage. What would you like to do? I am just having you have an experience with your husband. It's been a while, and he deserves a little attention. It's been about 30 years since you've done anything with him. Late at night, while you are still awake, Rock is sleeping. You watch him dozing peacefully, a wide smile on his face. Do you want to stroke his hair gently, and whisper, "I love you," or turn over and go to sleep? Unfortunately, I don't think you'll have an episode of a sexual nature because the game didn't warn you about it. Time for a hair job. My precious, a thing says. Yes. It's time to creep. And overwhelmingly, people seem to be voting for number 1. Stroke his hair gently and whisper, "I love you." And with 6 of the votes, the winner is, in fact, number 1. Rock looks up at you, glazy-eyed and half awake. He puts his arm across your chest and squirms into the comfortable spot between your arm and shoulder. He whispers, I love you, Conchetta," and then falls into a deep slumber. How do you handle this situation? There's 3 options now. And I'm just going to throw this one down to 20 seconds because I think chat is going to be very particular about this. You guys had the option. Clearly not even a real name. It might just be a dream. If you mention it to him in the morning, he might tell you about his dream. Or he might play it off as a dream and you'll never know the truth. That's a conch shell, yes. Conchaletta. We know how that worked out for Piggy. He had an interesting encounter with Rock as well. Ooh, Bobo bringing up the past. Let's check the results here. Option 2 with 4 of the votes. Mention it to him in the morning. I hope that was for the Piggy comment. I think that was one of my top-notch references. Since you can control your hostility and frustration rather well, you nonchalantly ask Rock if he remembers blurting out Conchetta in his sleep last night. He says he doesn't remember anything like that and laughs it off as being silly. I didn't slam Piggy. Rock did. You mentioned that he was looking quite peaceful during his sleep, which sparks an association. Oh, yeah. I do remember having kind of a kinky dream last night, he teases. Are you going to inquire about the dream? Or are you going to let it go softly into the night? People want to find out what's going on in Rock's head. Tell me more, tell me more. I almost wish that Zerfina responded with the things chat said. Tell us more. And he's like, what do you mean us? Oh, me and the voices in my head would like to know more about this dream. Option 1 with 6 of the votes. Inquire about the dream. Let us into your head a little bit, Rock. Tell us what you really want to do. The Rock thinks you're being ridiculous. How can anyone remember that much detail about a dream? All I can remember is that Conchetta had dark hair and a mysterious birthmark. Before he can say anything else, he begins to smile. Oh, are you going to let it go? Or are you going to ask him what's so funny? The birthmark was a pirate treasure map. It was the location of One Piece. Oh, chat's not letting him get off the hook that easy. Although, if myself or my father, he doesn't remember anything about the dream, and he's just hamming it up to poke the bear. Rock says nothing and then begins to laugh hysterically. What's going on? Are you going to keep pressing? Oh, Ringloth has had enough of his crap. But Lethal wishes to continue down the rabbit hole. Press to win. Oh, the poll's over. Let's peep the results here. Winner is option 2 with 2 of the votes. Well, if you really want to know, she had this pair of huge... He can't bring himself to say it. Tell him to stop laughing or tell you. I mean, we've got to go for it now. What are they? What were her huge things? It turns out he was having a dream after watching too much of his special anime that he watches late at night. Huge asset portfolios. Huge tracts of land. Huge Pokemon. All kinds of great suggestions here. Of course, even more people are interested now. Tell us what it was. He continues, these huge pair of bullhorns hanging above her bed. Good night. There you go. That was your encounter with Rock. How are we making for time? Oh, look at this. The game is coming to a close very shortly. Hopefully we make it to the end before we die or run out of time. I rarely make it to the last episode in these things. You have just returned from your yearly physical checkup. After your examination, you were told that you have begun your menopause. Here's where that quote comes into play. Even though it was something you expected to have happen soon, when the news is delivered, you feel a terrible sinking feeling in your stomach. Yeah, you lasted a long time. Apparently, Bobo had menopause once. During a quiet time, you begin to reflect on your life, your family, and the people around you. To whom you have formed attachments. You have lived a great part of your life, and now seems like as good a time as any to take inventory. As you look around, you find that there are those much younger than you who have accomplished more. You have friends who have beautiful homes, a vacation in Europe twice a year. There are friends who seem to have achieved a great deal more in other ways too. The reality of losing the ability to produce children strikes you in a funny way. Part of you is relieved not to have to worry about taking precautions to avoid pregnancy. You will look forward to not having to bother with your period every month too. Oh, you reached the end once. Usually die from surgery or something. Costs are down. Another part of you feels a loss. You may feel a particular sense of uselessness. Intellectually, you know that you are still important and vital to many people, but emotionally, you have been conditioned to society's expectations and roles. How do you feel about this? Do you feel depressed or contentment and relieved at the situation? We could have gotten knocked up on our daughter's wedding night. Our first daughter apparently can't keep it together. She dates crazy men and doesn't make the right choice for her life partner. Perhaps we should try again. It's too late now, though. Where's option 2 with 4 of the votes? Are we going to seek guidance, or are we going to remain as we are? No more of that not so fresh feeling. Not so bad. It's pretty good. I'll have to see when I get the new setup downstairs. I might be able to get my microphone in a slightly better position so that I don't bump it as I'm trying to do stuff. Although with the way it is now, I can actually see all my monitors, whereas before it used to be upside down this way and it blocked half of one of them. The poll is over. Let's check the results. Winner's option 2. Remain as we are. Stat checking is going on. Can we handle it? You must be either quite healthy or are resistant to face some typical worries associated with this time of life. In case you are interested, some of your friends are finding themselves terribly ambivalent about their lives right now. They are experiencing mood swings, bouts of guilt, shame, and anxiety, even panic. Incorrect answer, you are depressed and die. Since you are not experiencing any of these, it would be appropriate to offer words of encouragement. I hope your outlook remains this positive throughout the rest of your life. I hope so too. Ooh, you have just passed through middle adulthood. Your family life has been good. During this phase of life, your body doesn't always respond to the way your mind would like it to. A sore back after a hard day's work, or sore feet and legs after a long walk are not uncommon. In general, you are very fit for a woman of your age. You could still wrestle with a college boy if you wanted to, but choose not to. Fortunately, you don't have to worry about drugs or alcohol ruining your health. Socially, you are doing quite well. I hope that you and Rock are enjoying your lives together. Now, regarding your emotional and personality development. You are a very trustworthy person. Even though we all have our secrets, you are doing a very good job of keeping your wilder side under control. Well, Bobo, apparently you have the aches and pains of a 60-year-old. Sorry. You've seemed to have negotiated your midlife crisis without becoming depressed. Our wilder Bobby lusting side. You've watched enough King of the Hill to know that nothing good could come of that relationship. You can be sensible and understanding. You are usually cool, calm, and collected. People see you as an extremely wise person. They rely on you often for advice and are pleased with the results they get from interacting with you, such as $5,000 to try to run a business. Oh, that's too bad, Bobo. Or Lethal, that FTL is not working well for you. I haven't seemed to have much problems with my stream hasn't had to refresh at all, but it's kind of mixed bag for people. A mixer bag for people. The next phase of life, that was a little too far of a stretch. The next phase of life is full of mixed blessings. You may feel old and lonely some days, and cheerful and strong on others. Our society certainly has its share of prejudice against older folks. Some people in chat might have those as well. But you can have rich and rewarding experiences despite this. You will have your chance to thumb your nose at people who think you are too old to live it up a little. After all, you were doing most of these things and enjoying them long before these people were even toilet trained. Yes, just retire already. Can you create a poll on my chat? You can probably create an actual poll, but you cannot use the poll start poll. Who knew about this? Who knew about what? Oh, being able to add polls? I knew about it. The interesting thing is that, and this is the problem I ran into, you're supposed to be able to run polls through chat commands, but when you try to do it, it tells you that you're not allowed to, you don't have permissions to create polls, which is kind of interesting. You have to do it through the interface. I'm asking for help on that, because if I could get that working, oh man, we could have these little poll chat commands, start up a poll, people actually be able to push the buttons. The only downside is that I found that on mobile I can never vote in these polls. But there you go. How long of a poll was this, Boba? Did it end? It doesn't look like it has. No. There we go. It's over. All right. Well, it seems that we've survived another week. Very interesting. So, it's getting on to 11 o'clock now. Time for C64 Sunday to come to a close. Let's just display our status one more time before we call it an evening. Zerfina, age 65, law assistant, married to rock. We have high stats in everything. Calmness 88, confidence 97, expressiveness 96, familial ties 95, 89 gentleness, way up from when we were a child. Happiness of 90, doing pretty good. Intelligence of 97, it's only slipped a tiny bit in our old age. Our physical is still 63, keeping it above the 50%. Socially, 98. Thoughtfulness, 91, keeping us from forgetting our diabetes medicine. Trustworthiness, 95. And vocational status is 91. We have $232,354 in the bank, no debt, an automobile, which is a sports car, and a home. Yes, you could deploy a rival bot. So, I'm Zerfina, and I would like to talk to you about diabetes. So, next time, we are definitely going to have our life come to an end. But let's go ahead. And you know what? We have a few extra minutes here, so I'm going to save this snapshot. And this is the final countdown. Delete. But with the few minutes we have remaining together here, folks, let's go ahead and load a snapshot image. And that is going to be the something. And just for Katie Studios and the other 3 people who wanted to know what was going to happen, let's go ahead and go up and have a cup of coffee. Bobby disappears to make the coffee. You notice that his apartment is decorated sparsely, but tastefully. There are no crazy posters or wild-looking artwork. He must be a pre-med student because you can see anatomical charts on the wall and small piles of books stacked neatly in the corner. That or he's a Dexter. From the room you are in, you can see gym socks hanging over a towel bar in the bathroom. He seems so self-sufficient. Those aren't gym socks. You wonder for a moment just how old he might be. 19? 20? That's not so young, you say to yourself. Bobby emerges from an adjacent room with a fresh pot of coffee. I think we're only like 58 right now. Anatomical charts. That's what we're calling nudie posters. He is barefoot. He has strong, muscular legs. As you sit by the table drinking your coffee and talking, you notice him staring right into your eyes. He isn't trying very hard to hide his intense gaze. When you finish with your coffee, you can linger and have a second cup. I'm not giving you the choice to back out now, folks. This is an alternate reality where Zerfina is sowing her wild oats. The two of you talk with great passion about subjects you haven't discussed in years. You've almost forgotten how much energy young people have for philosophizing about things. The longer you stay, the more you lose track of time. You refuse to look out the window, fearing that you will be reminded by the violet sky that it is getting late. Eggs are still good for a couple of weeks. That's true. It's still a cradle in there. Finally, a silence falls between the two of you. It is the uncomfortable silence that happens when two people realize their physical attraction for one another at the same moment. Bobby becomes shy. It's clear that if anything will happen between you two, it will have to be you. It will have to be initiated by you. As Mr. B once famously said, maybe that one of us is you. Ooh. Sexy pose. I forgot to turn on my my soundboard. Too bad. Right before you make your move, you are reminded about Rock. The usual questions run through your minds. What if? How would I explain? It's already very late now. You would have to make up a story either way. You know what? He has his dreams. We're going to have a reality. Get in the car, loser. We're going to Pound Town. Guess what, Rock? We're having a baby. Yep. Bobby responds eagerly to your advances. You spend long hours making love. It is a powerful experience for you. You have been a very trustworthy person so far. This trustworthiness causes you to feel terribly guilty about having sex with this young man. As a result, you are thrown into a deep depression. You leave feeling resentful and foolish. Preachy Game is preaching you for going out of character. You lose 50 experience points and no longer can cast Heal Light Wounds. Doesn't matter, got D. So we were 60 at the time. Zerfina, age 61. Let's see what this did to us here. Our happiness has declined sharply. Very foolish. But everything else is still high. He took a little too much out of you, and now you're in depression. So that's what happens when you go out of character. If you had low trustworthiness already, the game perhaps would have thought it was in character and let you have a good time. Maybe your physical stats would have gone up from all that exercise. Maxwell. So, what is going on in the Mixerverse? For those who aren't aware, 2 weekends from now, on the 15th, it's coming up so fast. We're going to be having our yearly MS bike ride. Oh, I got the shirt on. I don't know if this is showing in the window here. This is the one from 2014. We've raised almost $10,000 so far. And yes, I do mean annual, Bobo. Get to the FTL. We've raised almost $10,000, I think, if you add up all the years. And last year we raised, I believe, about $4,000 once I got all the extra people that are just fluttering around my life, work and whatnot, getting their stuff in after the stream. So this year's goal is a further $4,000, but it will be at 6 p.m. on the 15th. Be there or be square. There are going to be several rewards. I'll have a announcement video tomorrow or Tuesday describing a few of the things that will be going on, and keep an eye out on Twitter and whatnot for when this is going down. There might be a couple test streams to test out a couple features I'm trying to load up. So keep an eye out for that sort of stuff too. In the meantime, yeah, well, maybe we'll be doing Zerfina level money earning. In the meantime, my little friend, online friend here, Glitchy, is playing a bit of PUBG. I know not everyone is a big fan of PUBG, but if you are so inclined, that is the link. I'm going to check it out for a little while. I enjoy watching these games. He's pretty good at it. They actually win chicken dinners pretty frequently, but he hasn't won one yet today. He just went live very recently. So head on over there, give him a look, check the game out if you haven't yet. It can get pretty intense towards the end, but the beginning can be a little bit slow. And yeah, Bobo's going to be there. Lethal, Grimmeth, I believe, will be there as well. And several other guests for the live stream, not for necessarily checking this out. I know that Grimmeth is not a large fan of PUBG. But head on over there if you wish to. Hashtag ZerfRaid. Let them know where you came from. And I'll see you guys over there perhaps, or perhaps not. Either way, have a great night, and we'll see you all later. Stop streaming.